What it was like to be every rank of gambler. Level 1, the first bet. You're 19 years old. It's a Friday night. Your friend says there's a casino 20 minutes away, and you have nothing better to do. You've never been inside a casino before. The moment you walk in, something happens to your brain. The lights, the sounds, the energy in the room, everyone moving with purpose, money changing hands everywhere you look. It feels like the center of something. You sit down at a blackjack table with $60. Your friend explains the rules in 30 seconds. Hit, stand, split, double down. Simple enough. First hand you lose. Second hand you lose. Third hand you win. The dealer pushes $15 toward you and something fires in your chest that you've never felt before. Not just the money, the feeling. The moment between the cards being dealt and the outcome being revealed. That suspended second where anything is possible. You play for 3 hours. You walk out with $240. You came in with $60, and you're leaving with $240. And the whole drive home you can't stop talking about it. The hands you played, the decisions you made, the moment you doubled down on 11 and pulled a 9 and the dealer busted. You sleep well that night. You don't know that your brain just got introduced to something it's going to want again, and again, and again. You don't know anything yet. You just had a good night. Level 2, the weekend player. You're 21. You go to the casino most weekends now. Sometimes with friends, sometimes alone. It's just something you do. Like other people go to bars or watch sports. This is your thing. You have a budget. $100 per visit. You're responsible about it. You set the limit before you walk in and you stick to it. Most of the time. You're up overall. You've calculated it. Over the past year, you've come out ahead maybe $800. You're a winning player. You're smarter than the average person who walks in there and loses everything. You read a book about blackjack strategy. You know the basic charts. You don't split tens. You don't take insurance. You play correctly. What you don't understand yet is that the house edge doesn't care about your strategy. Over enough time, the math wins. Always. But you haven't played long enough to see this yet. You've just been lucky, and you've interpreted luck as skill. Your girlfriend doesn't love the casino nights. She says it feels like a waste of money. You explain that you're actually up on the year. She doesn't seem convinced. You drop the subject. You're fine. You're totally in control. You could stop anytime you wanted. You just don't want to. Level 3, the regular. You're 24. The casino knows your name. This happened gradually. You started going during the week sometimes, just for an hour after work, just to decompress. Work is stressful, and the casino is the one place where the stress disappears, because there's only one thing to think about, and that thing is the cards, or the dice, or the wheel. The floor manager greets you by name when you walk in. They gave you a rewards card 6 months ago. You've accumulated enough points for free meals, free hotel stays, free show tickets. They send you offers in the mail. Come back this weekend, we'll match your first $100. You feel valued. You feel like a guest of honor. What you're actually feeling is the casino doing its job perfectly. They've identified you as a reliable revenue source, and they're investing in keeping you coming back. The free meals cost them nothing compared to what you spend at the tables. Your budget has quietly expanded. It was $100, then $200. Now, some nights you bring $500, and you tell yourself it's okay, because you can afford it and you're still in control. You broke up with your girlfriend 3 months ago. She said you were distant. She said you cared more about the casino than about her. You told her she was being dramatic. You still think she was being dramatic. Most nights you drive home alone and replay the session in your head. The hands you should have played differently. The moment you should have walked away up $300, but stayed and gave it all back. Next time you'll walk away at the right moment. There's always a next time. Level 4, the chaser. You're 26. Something shifted and you're not sure exactly when. It was after a bad night. You lost $800 in 3 hours. Real money. Money you felt. You drove home and you couldn't sleep and you lay in bed doing the math and calculating how long it would take to earn that back at work, and it made you feel sick. So you went back the next day to win it back. You lost another $600. And that's when chasing started. Not winning, not fun, not entertainment. Chasing. Getting back what you lost. Restoring the balance. Making the number go back to zero. The problem with chasing is that it changes how you play. You're not making rational decisions anymore. You're making emotional ones. Bigger bets to recover faster. Staying longer than you should. Taking risks you'd never take with a clear head. The more you chase, the more you lose. And the more you lose, the more you need to chase. You're down maybe $4,000 on the year now. You've stopped calculating exactly. Knowing the exact number makes it too real. You tell yourself you're due for a big win. Statistically, you're due. It has to turn around. You've been unlucky, but luck evens out. You just need one good session. This is called the gambler's fallacy. The dice don't know what they rolled last time. The cards don't owe you anything. Each hand is independent of every hand before it. But your brain doesn't want to accept this because accepting it means accepting that the losses are just losses and there's no recovery coming. So you keep going back. You're chasing something that doesn't exist. You don't know that yet. Level 5, the liar. You're 28. You've become someone you don't recognize. It happened so slowly you barely noticed. First, small lies. Telling your roommate you were going to see a friend when you were going to the casino. Saying you were tired when you came home at 2 a.m. Small things, harmless things. Then bigger lies. Your parents asked how you were doing financially. You said fine. You're not fine. You've gone through your savings. You have $6,000 on a credit card. You borrowed $1,500 from a friend for what you told him was a car repair. There was no car repair. You've started borrowing from your future to fund the present. Payday loans, credit card cash advances, high interest, short-term, desperate money. The kind of financial decisions that make a bad situation mathematically worse. You know this. You understand the math. You take the money anyway. The lying has become automatic. You don't even hesitate anymore. Someone asks a question and the lie comes out before you've decided to lie. Your brain has built new pathways. Protect the gambling. Remove the obstacles. Say what needs to be said. Your family has started to notice something is wrong. Not the gambling specifically, just that you seem stressed, that you're hard to reach, that you cancel plans, that you seem somewhere else even when you're present. Your mother asked you directly once, "Are you okay? Do you need anything?" You looked her in the eye and said you were fine. You'd just been busy with work. She didn't believe you. You could see it in her face, but she let it go because you're an adult and she doesn't know how to push. You drove to the casino that night and lost $700 and drove home at 3 a.m. and sat in the parking lot of your apartment for 20 minutes before you could make yourself go inside. Level 6, the addict. You're 30. The word addict doesn't feel like it applies to you, but it does. Gambling disorder is a recognized clinical condition. It affects the same brain pathways as drug addiction. The anticipation, the action, the reward system. Your brain has been chemically altered by years of this. The gambling isn't a choice anymore in the way it was at 19. It's a compulsion. The difference matters. Your job is suffering. You've been late 3 times this month. You called in sick twice after nights that went until 4 a.m. Your performance review was bad for the first time. Your manager asked if everything was okay at home. Your social life is gone. The friends you used to have, you've canceled on them so many times that they stopped inviting you. You owe 2 of them money you haven't mentioned repaying. It's easier to avoid them than to face that conversation. Your apartment is a mess. Not dirty exactly, just neglected. The kind of space that belongs to someone whose attention is permanently somewhere else. You order food because cooking requires presence of mind you don't have. You watch nothing on TV because you can't sit still long enough. The only time you feel okay is when you're gambling. Not even winning, just gambling. The action itself, the noise and the movement, and the complete absorption. 2 hours at a table and the debt disappears. The job disappears. Everything disappears. Just the cards and the moment. And then you walk out and it all comes back, heavier than before. You've thought about stopping, many times. You've set dates. Monday I stop. After this session I stop. After I win back what I lost, I stop. The dates come and go. You find reasons. One more session. One more chance to get even. You're not getting even. You're getting worse. Level 7, the debtor. You're 32. The number is $47,000. That's what you owe. You finally added it up because you had to, because a collection agency called your workplace, and your manager pulled you into his office and you had to explain something. You didn't explain the full truth. You said you'd had some financial difficulties. You said you were handling it. He looked at you for a long time and said he hoped you were, because the company couldn't have collection calls coming to the office. $47,000. Credit cards maxed, personal loans, money owed to family members who gave it to you thinking it was for emergencies that don't exist. An online lending account at 28% interest that you opened at 2 a.m. 6 months ago. You haven't told anyone the real number. If you told your parents, they would be devastated. They're not wealthy people. They saved carefully their whole lives. The idea that you've destroyed your finances gambling would break something in them. You've started getting calls from numbers you don't recognize. Debt collectors. You let them go to voicemail. The voicemails pile up unlistened. The debt doesn't go away because you don't listen to the voicemails. The interest accrues every day whether you look at it or not. You still gamble. This seems insane from the outside. You're $47,000 in debt because of gambling, and you're still gambling. But the logic from the inside is straightforward. The only way out of this debt is a big win. The only way to get a big win is to play. Stopping now means accepting the debt with no way out. Continuing means there's still a chance. There's no chance. The math doesn't work. But you're past the point where math reaches you. Level 8, the bottom. You're 34. This is the bottom. You'll know it later. Right now it just feels like Tuesday. Your employer let you go 2 months ago. They were patient. They gave you warnings. In the end, the performance issues and the collection call and the unexplained absences added up to a conversation in HR and a box of your desk items and a handshake that felt like a door closing. You moved out of your apartment because you couldn't pay rent. You're staying with your parents. You told them it was temporary while you figured out your next job. You've been there 2 months. You haven't told them about the debt. Last week, your father found a letter, collection agency. He brought it to you and asked quietly what was going on. You sat at the kitchen table where you ate dinner as a child and you told him everything. The number, all of it. He didn't say much. He sat very still. Your mother cried. Not loudly, just quietly with her hand over her mouth. That image of her face will stay with you for the rest of your life. Your father asked one question. How long? You told him. 10 years. He nodded slowly like he was absorbing something very heavy. They didn't throw you out. They didn't scream at you. They just sat there and you sat there and the weight of 10 years of lying was in the room with all three of you. That night you lay in your childhood bedroom and stared at the ceiling and felt something you hadn't felt in years. Not shame exactly. Something deeper. The feeling of having been absent from your own life for a decade. Of having missed something you can't get back. Of being 34 years old and sleeping in your childhood bedroom with nothing and owing everything. You cried for the first time in years. Not about money, about time. Level 9, the recovery. You're 35. You're sitting in a church basement on a Tuesday night. Gamblers Anonymous. You found it online at 1 a.m. You sat outside in your car for 20 minutes before you went in. You almost drove away twice. Inside there were 14 people. Different ages, different stories. They went around the room and talked about their weeks. When it was your turn, you said your name and said you were a compulsive gambler and hadn't gambled in 11 days. Someone said good. Just good. Like 11 days was real and worth saying out loud. Recovery is not what you expected. It's not about not gambling. It's about everything else. The anxiety gambling was medicating. The shame it was drowning out. The relationships you have to rebuild. The debt you face one payment at a time without running. You got a warehouse job. Physical, simple, honest. You come home tired in a way that helps you sleep. The urges still come. The wanting never fully disappears. You drive past a casino and something pulls. What changes is the space between the urge and the action. That space gets wider. Wide enough to make a different choice. Some days the space is wide. Some days it's very narrow. You go to the meeting on Tuesday either way. Level 10, the survivor. You're 42. The debt is gone. The day the balance hit zero, you sat in your car and felt something you couldn't name. Not joy, something quieter. The absence of a weight you'd carried so long, you'd forgotten what standing straight felt like. You got married at 38. You told her everything on the first date before it could become something you hid. She called 3 days later and said she wanted to see you again. You have a daughter now. She's 3. She just knows you as her father, the one who reads to her at night and makes pancakes on Saturday. You still go to GA. Sometimes a new person walks in and you can see yourself in them. You don't give advice, just presence. Just someone who was where they are and found a way through. You're not cured. You don't graduate from this. It's present tense every day. Some nights you dream about gambling. You wake up and hear your daughter breathing on the monitor, and your wife sleeping next to you, and the dream goes back to wherever dreams go. You think about the 19-year-old walking into that casino with $60 on a Friday night. How ordinary that moment was. How it didn't feel like a beginning. Maybe you'd just sit with him, not say anything. Just be there so he wasn't walking in alone. You can't go back. You can only be here, alive, present in your own life in a way you weren't for 10 years. And now you want to say to everyone watching this, never gamble. It starts as a Friday night and ends as a decade of your life. That's everything. If this hit you, subscribe and like. It helps the channel grow.